Hi, Sunday evening, another show, another day. But today I will try and do something completely different. Yesterday, in the middle of all this chaos, I got a picture from an old colleague of mine, Kiran Shah. It's a picture of uh, Mike Khanna, late Mike Khanna, inaugurating an office in Matre Pen. Matre Pen, for all you people who don't know, it's in Lower Parel. JWT used to have the whole floor there. We used to have IMRB on the ground floor. I think we used to have Fulcrum on the second floor. And the direct marketing company was set up on the third floor. Yeah, correct, third floor. I joined JWT HTA those days in 96. I remember Anil calling me up, Anil Bhatia, and uh, his famous call. I still recall I was in Bangalore on a holiday when Anil called and he said, "Hi, this is Anil here. Would you like to move to Bombay?" I said, "Yeah, but who's Anil?" That is the starting of my journey with HTA. He said, "You come to Bombay and you'll discover." Anyway, that call changed my life. That call has been the in life they say there are moments where things change. That call changed my life. I came to Bombay. He said, "We are setting up a direct marketing company, direct marketing and consumer activation. Will you help us set it up? Hang out there for a couple of years and come back to mainstream advertising." I said, "No problem." So, 96, I joined there. Before that, I'd done a lot of work in the mass space. We launched telecom in India, Tata Cellular, and stuff like that. So, you've done a little bit of bits and pieces of work. And 96 HTA happened, 96 Bombay happened. I moved to Bombay with my wife. And yeah, within I think a year or two from a business center, we moved into our own office. This office was the inaugurated by Mike Khanna. Mike Khanna is no more. Uh, Anil also is no more. I'll tell you the Anil story as we go along. So all was good, very good. HTA was very powerful. It was run by a trust, and it was really, really nice. And those were the days when we started hearing about WPP. Um, I had no clue what WPP was. It was not a big company. It was a small holding company in UK which started acquiring large advertising agencies. And I think one of the first big acquisitions was the JWT Group. Uh, they also acquired, I think, after that YNR, they acquired lots of other companies world over. But I think JWT was their first big acquisition. And that was the first time in my life I met Martin Sorrell. And Martin Sorrell wasn't very important because JWT HTA in India had a very small holding of WPP then. I think it was more to do with the borrowing of the logo than anything else. And we became JWT from HTA. A lot of song and dance. And Martin was in India. Uh, we had lunch at Kolaba, Taj, with all our clients. And that was the first time I discovered what is a 7 course meal and how you eat a 7 course meal. You start using spoons from outside to inside. There were a lot of first times in our life then. And direct had become very, very big. It had become Thomson Connect, I think, then. We launched the Air India frequent flyer program. We launched the Glaxo program. I mean, we did lots of huge work. Uh, just before we moved in there, I think Fulcrum was set up. Fulcrum was set up by Ketki. Ketki is there in that picture. I think one of the most underrated and one of the finest media professionals the country's ever seen. Uh, Super bright, super nice. Is still a very dear friend of mine after all these years. We meet quite often when she's in India. She and her husband are good friends of ours. Um, but yeah, these were towering figures, big figures, did some fantastic work. and did it very easily. They never made a big issue out of it. Imagine fulcrum. Imagine the thought, the idea. Uh, Today it is mindshare. Today it is whatever it is called. It's got lots of things. But it started in Matre Pen. It started in 94, 95. Uh, it was an idea. It was a concept of collecting buying for Hindustan Lever. And KK led it. Anil was involved in it day in and day out. He used to be in Matre Pen, I think, twice a week. Anyway, we lost Anil in 1999, I think, playing squash with his good, really dear friend Harish Marwani. A lot of us were there. And I think after that, a lot of us left the agency. But yeah, that is how I came to Bombay. That is what got me to Bombay. Anil got me to Bombay. If there's anyone who got me into this world of communication on the big scale is Anil. It was Ram Sheshu 91 who got me into advertising, but Anil who got me into the big world of advertising. Then 2000, I went to Lintas, 2001, I think, or 2000, I don't remember the year. And I think those 10 years, 2000 to 2010, were absolutely crack years. I think the industry saw some of the biggest work then. I mean, Lintas produced work like no one's business. There was Jagore, there was Bajaj, the idea, what an idea, Sergi. Lots of good work on Hindustan Lever. There was the whole Fair and Lovely work, the Pepsodent work. Fabulous work, really, really fabulous work. Dirt is good. I think the golden era of advertising was those 8-10 years. I don't think so it will ever get repeated. And the beauty of that era was there was Lintas and then there was Ogilvy. And Ogilvy was also huge. Ogilvy was fantastic. They were doing great work on Cadbury, Fevicol. But Ogilvy was doing some really, really fabulous work. So every morning we got up and figured out what Ogilvy was doing and we tried to do something better. Every morning they got up and they tried to figure out what we were doing and they tried to do it better. And in the process, I think the industry got some fantastic work. I saw a new ad of Jagore recently on some water conservation. I think they're stretching the idea, but it's okay. Each their own. If it makes them happy, good for them. It's not sitting in there. It doesn't matter. So it's been a long journey. But what has happened, 2-3 big things have happened in the advertising industry, and that has destroyed the structure of the industry. And this has primarily happened because of these holding companies. There's IPG and the WPP. Now, what these guys did, and I think they did a big mistake, is by converting, they did two things. One, they moved media out of all the agencies. In my view, I think that was the first big negative setback for the advertising world. Media on its own, the mainstream guys losing accountability of what's going to happen to its advertising, was the first big setback to the advertising world. Otherwise, we were involved in everything. We were involved in A to Z. Suddenly, one big chunk went away. Then came the whole fee structure. I think the fee structure has been the single biggest nail in the coffin of the advertising industry. It has really destroyed revenue streams, and because it has destroyed revenue streams, it has destroyed talent streams, and because there's no new talent coming in, old talent is hanging on. So it has been extremely bad, really, really bad. And because there's no good talent coming in, the old talent is still hanging around. I mean, guys who were at their peak in 2007-8 are still running the industry. It's what, 15 years? I mean, in which industry do people last for so long? Tendulkar batting for India at 60? No, it doesn't work. Tendulkar will go when he has to go. Virat will go when he has to go. In advertising industry, nobody goes. They will claw their way back. They'll hold on to their positions. They'll call themselves fancy things. So this is what the fee structure did. It destroyed the process of getting in new talent. Imagine a 1,000 crore brand is giving the agency 25, 30, 40 lakhs as an annual retainer. Why would the agency work? Where will they get the talent from? It doesn't work. And this is what happened. I won't take names of clients here, but I think a lot of multinational clients are hugely instrumental in creating this mess. And this mess will have to be reversed if you want to revive the advertising industry. The other big issue that, in my view, that destroyed the advertising industry is the leadership transition. Historically, the leadership transition has been quite smooth, and most times the industry was led by suits. When I say suits, it's account management guys. There were guys like Anil Kapoor, Avulka. There was Mike Khanna. I mean, Anil Kapoor was like a bulldog. I've heard stories. I never worked with him. I went for one IPG meeting with him, but I never worked with him. But I believe he was like a bulldog. There was uh, there was Prem Mehta. There was Mike Khanna. There was Mani Iyer. There was Bal Munkar. These are all powerful advertising people who sat on the top of the boardroom with the CEO of the company and handled client problems, handled market problems. When the in by 2007-8, the leadership of the industry went from suits to creative. When it went from suits to creative, a lot of functions got dismantled. Planning went weak. Account management went weak because the way the creative guys are wired, and it is not their fault, the way they are wired towards producing advertising. They are not wired towards solving a marketing problem. And because of that, the clients also started engaging with the industry only for advertising. Otherwise, the relationship between a client and an agency was about finding solutions to their problems. Let me tell you, you may find it quite fascinating. From 2004 to 2006, Idea had four CEOs, Idea Cellular, three or four CEOs. There was a European, there were two Europeans, there was one Indian. I think every 6 months they changed. The only constant factor in that change was Lintas. We used to hold it together. And I remember the teams at Lintas used to go for trade meets, conduct dealer meets, because there was nobody at their end. Uh, when we were migrating Bajaj from a two-wheeler scooter company to a bike company, we knew all the designers in the bike at the Bajaj end because we knew exactly what bike they were creating. We knew how to plan. We knew how to think. We knew what they're going to do 1 year later. That era is over. I just don't hear those stories. I don't know of those stories. Uh, and our relationship was always at the top management level. You engaged with the leadership of the client end. Now I think the whole relationship has come down to marketing man. I'm not. It is not wrong, but I just think advertising is such a critical part of the mix that unless the CEO of the company is engaging with the agency, you cannot produce good work. You just cannot produce good work. It is just not possible. I mean, how will it happen? Uh, yeah. So I think the rot in the advertising world has set in so bad now that, and I've been out of it from 14. 1st of Jan 14, I'm out of it. It's now what, 8, 9 years. And I listen to stories, I meet people, I talk to them, and you feel bad because you set up the industry to another level, and now that is not there. Um, we've had a power failure. We've run into some darkness. Let's see how this looks. Uh, I can go on talking about this subject. It's painful. Let's see how it gets revived. I'm hoping it will get revived. I'm hoping the commission system comes back. I'm hoping the whole industry gets reintegrated. And I am hoping that one day, in an ideal world, there will be an agency that deals with the client. I'm hoping. Thank you. All the best.